जब उड़क राख करा करतारा, परजा धारत तब देह, अपारा जब आकारक करत हो, कबहू तुम माय मिलत, देह धर सबहू. When the Lord expands His creation, then many types of living beings get created. When you dissolve everything, then all the living beings get absorbed back into you. Please help me understand, what does expansion and dissolution of Lord mean? The Lord Abhilash is the source of your consciousness. The world is the expanse of your consciousness. The Lord is the source of your consciousness. The world is the expanse of your consciousness. What does the creation of the world mean? The pure source point of awareness has manifested itself into the multiple colors, multiple levels of consciousness. That is the creation of the world. Now the world comes into being. The world and consciousness are one. God and the source of consciousness, which is pure awareness, two are one. What does it mean for consciousness to dissolve and go back to God? It means that now your consciousness is no more affiliated with its contents. What is consciousness? The contents of consciousness are consciousness itself. Whenever you say you are conscious, you are always conscious of something. So consciousness always has contents. When you say you are thinking, you are always thinking about something. So consciousness is nothing without its contents. What does it mean then for the world to be absorbed back into God? It means that now you have consciousness without content, or you have pure awareness. You can express it either way. You could either say, now there is consciousness sans the contents of consciousness, in the sense that now the ego tendency finds no need to associate itself, identify itself, affiliate itself with any of the contents of consciousness. Or you could say consciousness itself has receded and is now finding rest in pure awareness. There is no expanse. There is just a point. And that point am I. Are you getting it? Have you seen how the mind becomes full of some content when you are excited or angry or worried or lustful? That is the expanse of consciousness. Now consciousness is very, very strongly associated with some content. You can't stop thinking about it. You can't help brooding over it. This you could call as the emergence of the world. Now the world has emerged and become very meaningful for you. And what is meant by dissolution of the world? Grace shone and the I tendency grew wise and loosened its grip over the pretty object of association. Now the content has been dropped. The content is dropped. Consciousness no more, because we said there is no consciousness without content. You could either call it consciousness no more, or you could call it pure consciousness, which means consciousness without content. One is conscious, but one is not conscious of anything in particular. That is called pure consciousness. Normally, when you are conscious, there is something in your mind, right? You are always conscious of something, I repeat. What is pure consciousness or awareness? There is consciousness, but of what? Well, nothing in particular. One knows what? Nothing in particular. When you know, but know nothing in particular, then you actually know. When you know only the particulars, then what the hell do you know? All that you know is the particular, and the particular is the little. And little knowledge is no knowledge. Therefore, knowing or awareness is when you know without knowing anything specific. You just know. That is awareness. When you know something specific, then you are. When you just know without knowing anything specific, then only the knowing is you are not. I'll repeat. When you know something specific, then you are. When you just know nothing specific, then you are not. Only knowing is. That you could also call as knowing without the knower. And that is awareness. In consciousness, knowledge is always with a knower. So there is knower and he has knowledge, and this is the usual process of consciousness. In awareness, there is only knowing. There is no object of knowledge and therefore no knower. Therefore, you can be conscious, but you can never be aware. In consciousness, the I is preserved and strengthened. In awareness, there is no I at all. There is just God. Getting it? If it's a little too fast for you, play it again on your device and listen to it. Rather, play it on loop. I have not said even a quarter of what needs to be said on this. But I've already said much more than what can be said on this. So the rest is upon you. Listen to this again and again. Abhilash quotes again from the Nitnem Sahib. भूत भाविक भवान कहानी Whatever happened in the past is going to happen in the future and is happening now. Vilash says, I'm not clear about this statement. How should one look at past, present, and future? I've heard people telling me to live in present. What does this really mean? This statement in Nitnem seems to indicate that the future is nothing but a repetition of the past. Is it indicating that for a person living in time, the past, present, and future are the same, and we need to go towards timelessness? Please help me understand this. Yes, Abhilash. Broadly, yes. You are seeing it rightly. The ego loves time. The ego hopes that time will provide it redemption. So the ego never likes to opt out of time. It continues to swim in time. And in time, there is no newness. There is only a repetition of the past. Awareness is new, consciousness is stale. Mark the difference. In awareness, great and fresh things happen. In consciousness, petty and stale things happen. Consciousness is so scared, it merely wants to repeat the past. Awareness is so fearless, it abhors repetitions. In awareness, there is creativity. In consciousness, there is merely a replication. Consciousness is second-handed, never new. What you are conscious of is coming from somewhere, therefore it is not original. In awareness, there is authorship, there is originality, and therefore awareness is the only authority. The Guru is telling us whatever happened in the past is going to happen in the future and is happening now. That's the cycle of Prakriti. Her design is trapped in time. Prakriti is movement, and movement can happen only in time. Change necessitates time. In Prakriti, there is restlessness, so everything is changing. If you are restless, you cannot sit still, can you? If you are restless, things will keep changing. In Prakriti, there is continuous change. In Prakriti, there is time. And yet, Prakriti never changes fully. It changes in its own dimension, the dimension of time. Like a flowing river in which there is continuous change, but within the two banks, the limits of the two banks are never breached. Have you ever seen a river flying? At best, it changes its course a little, or floods the neighboring areas a little. That's cosmetic rebellion. But the river is so severely and so cruelly contained by its course, its boundaries. And yet it is always moving. Movement. that is merely superficial and affords it no real change actually. That's Prakriti. That's why she has been variously likened to a stream. A stream is always flowing, but within its limits. That's also how we live, no? Always trying to change this or that, but nothing ever really fundamentally changes. Things change on the surface. And as the poet has said, the more the things change, the more they remain the same. You had jealousy in the past, you have jealousy now. You had insecurity in the past, you have insecurity now. You can go back 4,000 years or 4 million years back. You will find insecurity. And irrespective of how long back you go, you'll always find a three-dimensional world, won't you? Oh, what has changed then? What has changed? The world was always three-dimensional, was it not? Why? Because consciousness is three-dimensional. Now, within this unchanging framework of consciousness, there are cosmetic changes in the objects of consciousness. That's hardly any change. And therefore, the fundamental condition of man has remained the same. Man was fearful 5,000 years back, he is fearful even today. People were fighting for property 5,000 years back, they are fighting for property even today. Men were fighting for women 5,000 years back, even today it's the same. What has changed? So the saints are saying, whatever happened in the past is going to happen in the future and is happening even now. Does that mean there is no possibility of liberation? There is. There were liberated ones in the past and there are liberated ones today as well. The ones who have to live contained in time continue to live contained in time, and those who loved liberation, they flew away then and they flow away even today. You need to have a love for the sky, you will fly away. The possibility of liberation is always there. It depends on you whether you exercise that possibility. Getting it?